Okay. Can money buy happiness? It's an age-old question, and it's an answer I don't know, because I'm broke. And I'm trying to make this streaming and YouTube thing work out. But can money buy happiness? By good work. Reporter guy. Funny. Let's see. I think I'm going to die before I get the money in the first place.
Can money buy happiness? It's a question that's vexed humans for...
Okay, here's my take before it even starts. It buys happiness to a certain extent because it gets rid of all the stresses in life, and obviously high stress leads to lower happiness in most cases. But then once you get the money, you realise that just having no stress in your life isn't necessarily what makes you happy. You actually have to find meaning and purpose, because you can have all the money pay off all these stresses, but what you realise in life isn't necessarily being happy all the time or whatever. It's having a purpose and having drive and having something to constantly work towards and reward yourself instead of just being happy. Because fun things, if you do them all the time, will not become fun, because quite simply, if you do too much of one thing, it's eventually going to become boring or annoying or the complete opposite of what it made you feel like in the first place. I enjoy going to the gym, or I enjoy going to play football with my mates, or I enjoy going to have a meal or watching some YouTube. But if all I did 24/7 was do those things, I would eventually hate them. Okay, so if you get loads of money and you just think, yeah, I'll just do all the things that I find fun, you'd realize, oh, this actually isn't fun. You realize it's purpose and it's hardship. And hardship makes the happy things and the rewarding things 100 times better than just them in the first place. Hence why you don't feel good after you TikTok doom scroll, because you get so much dopamine from scrolling TikTok because of that anticipation of the next TikTok making you laugh, but you don't feel good after because you didn't do any work to do it. Okay, right, I'll shut up for the rest of the video because I've already waffled for 5 minutes.
Centuries. From the discontented kings of old to the sad, rich ambition demons surrounding me here in Manhattan. But no matter how many times it's posed in clickbait articles and pop science podcasts, we simply can't seem to find an answer. But I'm about to change that.
How much money? UK currently, as a single working man, right, I would be really happy. Like, I would be happy with like 3 or 4k, but I wouldn't be able to do much with 3 or 4k. I wouldn't be able to invest much, wouldn't be able to do much for more people. Between 10 and 20 must be unreal. Like 100 to 200k a year is like a cushy spot at a young age. Obviously, that's insanely out of touch, but we're saying ideals here, not, reality.
I'm here at the happiest place on earth, Harvard Business School. I was in this ivied oasis to meet the man who both wrote a book and talked the TED, Money and Happiness.
Michael Norton is a professor here at Harvard Business School and a leading behavioral economics researcher. Let's see if he can teach me how to behave. Michael, great to have you here.
Great to meet.
All right, or thank you for having us, rather.
Yeah.
With my characteristically smooth exchange of pleasantries out of the way, it was time to turn the screws on Professor Norton and get my answer.
How much money do I need to be happy?
How much do you have?
Not enough.
It's a tricky question, actually. So it's hard to know the exact dollar amount. But what we do know is when we ask people how much they think they need, they typically say 2 to 3 times as much as I have right now. But the weird thing is we can ask people who have $50,000 and they say, if I only had 2 to 3 times more, I'd be perfectly happy. We can also ask people who have $3 million and they also say, yeah, if I only had 2 to 3 times as much, I'd be happy.
Michael was saying a lot of numbers, that's for sure, but I still wasn't hearing a solid answer. I decided to give him one more try before I used my power to dismiss him with voiceover and move on to another interview with a smarter guy.
So lots of people have looked into the correlation, just straight up, how does money correlate with happiness? And one of the things that we did was we tried to do experiments. So we tried to give people money and have them go do stuff and then see which thing makes people happy and which thing doesn't make people happy. So we were trying to get at not so much how much you make in a year and how happy you are, but what you do with it. The first thing people think to do with money is spend it on themselves. And the problem is, if you look at the data, it's not that spending money on yourself makes you unhappy, it's
spend it on other people. You always feel way more happy after you've bought someone else a gift that they really enjoy or really like than if you buy yourself something. Like Christmas presents. Like, as you get obviously as a kid, you like getting stuff for yourself. But yeah, gift subs to Kingzy. Yes, that's perfectly the point. Like, you lot would feel better if you all dropped 100 gifted on me right now. What's that, like $500-$600 or whatever it is? Something small like that. If you all dropped like 100 gifted, 20 gifted, 5 gifted, whatever it is, you'd feel way better for doing that than spending 500 quid on something selfish like food or like water or like bills. You'd feel a lot better for giving that to me. And yes, I will twerk for you.
Really, just there's not a strong relationship. If we say, have you ever felt happy when you give to charity or give to someone? People say, yeah. And then
Facts.
we say, have you done it lately? And they say, no.
Last time I gave to charity, I donated $100 to Myers Alves Sanctuary. I felt very good about that, even though I'm not in a position to be donating $100. But here we are. And then I also once saw this sign about like a dog that was missing, like when I was on my walk, or like it needed like medical surgery. So I donated like a $5 or a $10. I think it was a scam though, because I tried to do some research into it and I couldn't find any more details. So I think some like kid had printed out some leaflets of like a fake dog with a fake injury, and then he was just securing money through a GoFundMe. But hey, I'm probably made that kid happy because I donated him a $5. So yeah, W charity. I would also love to do charity streams in the future, like a weekly charity stream, because that's insane PR, right? Like I'm saying this now, if you do weekly charity streams, it's just better for everyone. Charity gets it, and then you get more money because people rate you instead of just being a selfish twat.
What is a harder concept for business school students to grasp? Happiness or giving people money?
I couldn't help but feel like me and Professor Norton simply weren't on the same page. I was explicitly asking him just how much money I needed to make to finally achieve happiness, and he wouldn't stop talking about giving money away. It made no sense. I needed to find someone with as impressive of credentials, but who would actually give me a hard number on which to set my sights.
There's a very famous paper that concluded that there was this plateau between money and happiness beyond around $75,000.
Now we're talking.
$75,000 wouldn't get you very far right now, especially once you get to the point of having a family. As an individual, yeah, because what's $75,000? That's like it's like $5K a month. Yeah, you'd be fine. You'd be able to spend whatever. You're not going to be able to live lavishly, but you can have a great lifestyle.
Matt Killingsworth is a senior fella at the University of Pennsylvania's Wharton School of Business, where he runs one of the world's largest studies on human happiness. Wharton is an institution of great history, and more importantly, a place where many people learn how to accumulate wealth until happiness oozes out of their pores and the pores of their progeny.
I ran this really big study that had a fantastic measure of kind of the levels of happiness that people experience, and I saw no evidence for a plateau at all. It just keeps going up, modestly but very steadily.
These squirrely academics wouldn't stop overcomplicating the issue, but I could play their game too. You found that money and happiness have a logarithmic relationship. Is that different than a polyamorous relationship?
Maybe you could combine them.
Rich ass fucking laugh, bro. This guy's got M's in the S&P 500 and index funds.
I've tried. So
Maybe you just need to earn more money, and then you can see what you can put together.
But when you describe a logarithmic relationship, what is it? Is this what you're talking about?
Yes.
Or? Okay.
Yes.
It's a big word for me.
So if you plot this out, you could imagine happiness, and then you have money. A logarithmic basically means we're going up in proportional increments. So you could imagine each of these hash lines being a doubling of income. What we used to think was happening is that happiness rises up to around this level, happiness rises, and then doesn't really improve. And essentially what I've found is that this part is basically right, but instead it just keeps going up in a straight line.
So people here in general are a lot happier than people here.
They're happier on average. So, you know, I'm squishing all of this down.
Despite the squishing, I was making progress. I now had incontrovertible proof that the more money you had, the happier you got. And the goal was to get as far up this polyamorous red line as possible. But what would it actually feel like to be up there in the top right corner of this whiteboard? I asked Matt if his research had turned up an answer.
There are a lot of things we can run experiments with, but money is actually quite a bit trickier because it's so darn expensive to run an experiment where you give people enough money to matter for happiness. But there's a natural experiment. They're called lotteries, and there have been some really great studies that have found that the people who play and win are not only happier than the people who play and don't win, but they followed up
What's his point here? Fucking obviously.
5 or 10 years later and found they continue to be fairly substantially happier.
So we gotta meet a lottery winner. Or we have to win the lottery.
That would be interesting.
Okay. If one thing was clear at this point in the investigation, it was that lottery winners are happy as shit.
Until they lose and spend all their money. I swear there's a statistic, it might be just for the UK. Like, most lottery winners tend to just go broke because they don't know what to do with the money, and unless if they're savvy enough to be like, right, let's go to someone who knows what to do with this fucking money, then they all just like spunk it all. Bro, if I got a mil, if I got a mil in the lottery, right, I'm insta putting 700k in savings, and then I'll pay off like family stuff, and then I'll give myself 100k. I could live off 100k for like 5 years, bro. Maybe probably 10, easy.
So I had to speak to one myself. Timothy Schultz won the lottery in 1999, winning over $20 million in almost a day. So I'm here to speak to him right in our studio.
I knew it was going to be a Zoom call.
My first question for you right out of the gate, Timothy. Are you happy?
Most days, I try to be happy. I think so.
There it was, the look of someone who had enough money to be happy. And here was my chance to find out how he did it, so that one day I might look in the mirror and see my own face wearing that grin. So you interview a lot of lottery winners. Would you say the majority of the people that you interview are also happy?
Most people that I've met and interviewed overwhelmingly have been happier, but it's not a black or white situation. I mean, the truth is that if you win...
Okay, I'm sorry. If this guy's a podcaster, why is he set up the camera so 90% of his forehead is not in the camera? This is such a jarring shot. I'm not saying his face has to be in the middle. It's not for me, but my whole head is in. It's jarring how I'm looking at half his head. I don't care about your fucking gyno, bro. I'm joking. This guy doesn't have gyno, but still.
The lottery, if you win a major...
I think you need this angle. So you'd prefer if I did the stream like this? Oh yeah, no, that's a sick angle to hide that big effort.
Prize, then who you are on the inside is really what matters, because
Money does not make you happy, nor does it make you sad. It's an amplifier of those feelings that you already feel in today's present day. If you are a happy person, regardless of the situation you are in, your life will be 10 times better with money. If you are a sad and miserable person and do not try to find ways to be happy in amongst all the stresses and bad things in life, then it will only amplify those feelings and make you feel even worse about your situation than it already is.
who you are on the inside can be magnified. And if you're this terribly unhappy person on the inside, you might still be unhappy after the exhilaration of winning wears off.
Oh no. I'd come all this way only for Timothy, the podcast host / lottery winner, to tell me that the very nature of my investigation might be flawed. If the true solution to happiness lay inside the soul rather than the wallet, I stood no chance. My soul is as black as my outside is white. Timothy, for the purposes of this interview, I'm gonna need you to tell me that winning the lottery is necessary. I'm gonna need to be incredibly wealthy to be happy. Because if I'm not incredibly wealthy, what's even the point? You know?
Well, yeah, I mean, you have to basically, yeah, I mean, you can do, I mean,
I want to know how much of these calls were edited or like scripted or what. My guess is that Dan Toomey, not this guy, the guy before, I watch this guy's videos all the time, he prefaces them that, right, I'm going to go into a character and make things awkward, but let's still conduct this interview. Just play along with it. That's what I would imagine he does.
yeah, I mean, you can do, I mean, the truth is you can do anything, whether you are incredibly wealthy or not. Dreams can come true, but it helps. It's a huge leg up if you have lots of money, I mean, or win a lottery, because you have more opportunities, your quality of life can be better.
Good enough for me. I now had my marching orders. Over the course of my journey, my head learned lots of information, much of it unsatisfactory for men who enjoy talking a lot with their hands. In order to be happy, I've been told I needed 2 to 3 times as much money as I had. I've been told that true happiness lay in giving money away. I've been told I needed $75,000. Then I'd been told I needed more than $75,000, ideally as much more as possible. Finally, here was something I could act on. I'd conclusively learned that in this messy business of happiness, winning the lottery was an undeniable leg up. And I'd also learned how to do it.
There's many people that have won mass amounts of money after intentionally trying to manifest jackpots. They put the energy out there. They believed that it was going to happen. They visualized it. They felt it. And then it happened in real life. And whether you think that's a coincidence or not, I respect you, but it's interesting.
I need to start manifesting, is what you're saying.
And with that, I knew that finding the right amount of money to make me happy wouldn't be difficult in the slightest. All I had to do was manifest winning the lottery. Can I get one jackpot fortune, one of the number 21s? Thank you. And do you have cigarettes? That's $30? Golly! A $5 game would be great. One. So in order to find happiness, I encourage everyone to go out and do the sensible thing. Buy a
$30 for a scratch card ticket. Fucking hell.
scratch ticket from the first newsstand you find on the street. Hi. I'm so sorry. Can I get another one of these? Then buy another. No, I didn't win. I don't think I won. And another. Hi. I'm sorry. Can I get 2 more of those? Thank you. And another. I think I won. I think I won.
How much?
$5.
You want one more ticket or you want cash?
One more ticket.
Another ticket would be great. Thank you.
How do you go about measuring happiness? And would you say that mine is normal size?
As far as I can tell from this far away.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Does a raise make you happier?
It probably would, at least by a little bit.
Right. Okay. You can say no.
Yeah.
You can say no.
Oh, would it make me happier?
Just for like, because I have employees, so you can just say like it does.
I see. Yeah. No, I don't think so.
Thank you.
Oh, that's funny. From Good Happy, this is by... Oh, it's the take on the intro. I like the little faces Dan makes when doing interviews, like he's hearing the words but has no grasp on the English language. Perfectionist. Finally, some actionable, no bullshit advice. Simply win the lottery. Hacks. Just win the lottery, boys. It ain't that hard. Alright, good, but yeah. I wanted to watch that on my own time, but I thought it was a good... It's just a good title for a VAR.